Sometimes to get a sense of distance and depth, you have to pay attention to the level of detail. Easier said than done though, because you need a healthy balance to achieve it. I feel this horse at the very distance plays a very important role in the whole painting. Because how small it is in the picture plane, it gives the viewer a sense of depth. So it was very important that I included it. Without it, the distance wouldn't be as clear to the viewer, because this gives them an idea for size reference to the horses in the front. Also, something interesting, I didn't even notice that horse until a little less than halfway while painting. As I'm doing that area, I realized, oh, there is a horse there. It was kind of tricky painting this tree because I didn't do it exactly to the photo's appearance. I wanted it to stand a little out because of the placement it is in the picture plane. It was something I was considering going back into, but I decided to leave it as is because if I did it based on the photo, it would have been pushed back. But forever, I'm still probably in debate whether I should have went back to cool it down a little. Ah, the snow. Yes, the snow. As you can see, all the little crevices from the footprints of the horses. Again, lots of different colors. Titanium white with a hint of orange for the highlights, and just about every other color in the rainbow for the rest of the snow, which includes cobalt blue, a little bit of cerulean blue, viridian, alizarin crimson, and even hints of cadmium yellow as well. Besides the colors, texture played an important role as well. Actual physical texture. As you can see, I laid copious amounts of white in order to get that effect. I was really debating whether to include these two branches, but in the end I thought it was a good idea to show something more detailed up close. I didn't make it too obvious, but I wanted it to stand out, to show more of a sense of depth, especially if you can see each of those leaves. And as you can see, I went back into the snow again. This is something I did multiple times. I just felt like I couldn't get it right. And to this day, I still have that kind of feeling. It had to do with the texture, making it believable since it's so close. I lost track how many times I laid color after color. Though not as big as the bush in the center, I still wanted to pay attention to this plant and try to get the variations of leaves just like the other one. So I paid attention to the ones that had light on them, so they were brighter and they stood out, and I receded some of the darker ones that were not in the light. Again, this plant has volume, and I tried showing it even though it's so little. And more grass, dead grass that is. Well, I don't know if it's gonna come to life. Little by little, I painted. I paid attention to also the blades that were in the direct sunlight. As you can see, some are very bright, and also the few that stood out like against the snow. Obviously I had to wait till the paint was dry to lay them in. My advice for grass, just keep painting it until it looks right. That's what I do. And pay attention to blurry grass, sharp grass, and the ones that are dark and light. Can you guess how many trees I painted? I'm just kidding. I do not want you to count. Someone supposedly said 700, but I call BS. Even though I focused towards the end more on the front, I had to go back into the back and paint the remainder of trees. It wasn't that hard, it was just more tedious. I paid attention also to the sunlight and the shadows as well. It's not as complex as the foreground, if anything more simple. Also, certain trees in the distance have more muted colors, so they recede more, and certain trees that are more in the sunlight, as you can see, they're brighter. You have to do these variations in order to create that sense of distance and push back things in the background especially the things that are in the light and the things that are in the shade. It was a very delicate balance of greens to achieve this, and just so you know, I barely used green out of the tube. If anything, it was mostly either cerulean blue or cobalt blue mixed with cadmium yellow, and then viridian I would use here and there for more of the trees in the distance, mixed with a hint of alizarin crimson, make it more on the darker tone. So yeah, lots of different variations of green, all depending on the distance and all depending on the lights. Very delicate balance. If you made it to the end, thanks for watching. Once again, my name is Charles. I go by Bob. I'm not your typical painter. I have one more time-lapse video in the works, so stay tuned for more. And check out my Instagram if you want to see some of my older work.